Hello, everyone. Today, I'm presenting incorporating multiple knowledge sources for targeted aspect-based financial sentiment analysis. This is our agenda today. We will start with introduction, followed by research questions, methodology, experiments, results, and lastly, conclusions and future work. What is targeted aspect-based financial sentiment analysis? Basically, it aims to extract entities and aspects and also detect their corresponding sentiment in the financial text. In the examples given here, for example, the second sentence, G&G raised dividend but cuts 2020 earnings outlook over coronavirus outbreak. Here, there's one entity mentioned, which is G&G. There are two aspects. One is dividend, and the other one is earning outlook. When it comes to the sentiment, it is positive for dividend, but negative for earning outlook. This is one example of single target, multiple aspects, and their corresponding sentiments. Today, combining symbolic and subsymbolic methods has become a promising strategy as research tasks in AI grow increasingly complicated and require higher levels of understanding. However, current state-of-the-art TABFSA models, they have overlooked the importance of external lexical knowledge. We have three research questions in our study. The first one is, can integration of lexical knowledge improve the performance of pre-trained language models in TABFSA tasks? Secondly, the methods to integrate knowledge into the fine-tuning process of pre-trained language models can be generally categorized into three types, which are anterior, parallel, and posterior integration. When multiple sources of lexical knowledge is provided among these three types, which is a more effective approach to incorporate knowledge? Our last question is, to improve the domain application of pre-trained language models, one method adopted by researchers is to train domain-specific pre-trained language models, such as FiQA. But this requires large domain-specific corpus and considerable computing resources. Does incorporation of financial knowledge produce better model performance than retraining of finance domain-specific language models in TABFSA tasks? With these three questions, we conducted this study, and this is our contributions. Number one, we define anterior, parallel, and posterior knowledge integration and conducted extensive experiments to examine the best approach to incorporate multiple lexical knowledge into the fine-tuning process of transformer models. We identified that the parallel approach is more effective in combining multiple lexical knowledge sources and pre-trained language models. Secondly, we propose incorporating sentiment knowledge from both domain-specific and general-purpose lexicons into the fine-tuning process of pre-trained language models, and we demonstrated its effectiveness in complementing all the model trainings. Thirdly, we demonstrated that the incorporation of lexical knowledge produces better model performance than retraining of finance domain-specific language models in TABFSA, and the lack of knowledge in the FSA task makes knowledge integration valuable. Lastly, we achieved the best result to our knowledge over strong benchmark models on the two fine-grained financial sentiment analysis dataset, which are SemEval 2017 Task 5 and FiQA Task 1. Now we will talk about this methodology. First of all, we define anterior knowledge integration, which is to study how to incorporate the knowledge into the sentence, such as forming a sentence tree with the branch being the incorporated knowledge and feed it into transfer models like BERT. It augments sentence with richer sentiment information and can be helpful for model training and fine-tuning. Typically in BERT, we have three types of embeddings: token embedding, segment embedding, and soft position embedding. Here, we show the process of converting a sentence tree into embedding representation for BERT. First of all, we have the sentence tree here. The soft position index is represented by the red number, and the hard position index is represented by the green number. The token embedding is formed by flattening the tokens in the sentence tree into a sequence of tokens by their hard position index. The position embedding is generated from the soft position index along with the token embeddings. The tokens in the original sentence are tagged as A, while the tokens in the auxiliary sentence are tagged as B for segment embedding. This is how to convert a sentence tree into embedding representation for BERT. Next, we define parallel knowledge integration. It aims to develop a different model architecture for the knowledge base and train in parallel with pre-trained language models. There are two main parts for this architecture. The first one on top is the fine-tuning process of pre-trained language models. We have financial news, headline, or post, and we have auxiliary sentence containing targets and aspects. From there, we feed to language models such as BERT, FinBERT, XLNet, or Robata. Then from there, we do average pooling on the outputs and form vector U. And the part below is the transformation of lexical knowledge embedding. Firstly, we use mutual information selector to filter D and generate refined knowledge embedding K. And D is the original knowledge embedding here. After that, we use attentive CNN to generate contextual embedding C. And we concatenate refined knowledge embedding K with contextual embedding C to form a two-channel contextual knowledge embedding. After that, we perform convolution with different kernel size to generate Z. And lastly, we perform chunks max pooling and concatenate to form P. We do further convolution, and in parallel with LSTM, we have outputs V and X. Together with U, we do concatenation and we pass to dense layer. This is the architecture of the proposed knowledge-enabled transformer models. Now, we will go into more details. The first step, a refined knowledge embedding through mutual information selector is generated for each sentence. And in this K, M is the maximum length of the sentence and N is the number of sentiment and emotion scores across lexicons. After that, a contextual vector is generated for each word using the attention layer to determine which word and lexicon should have more emphasis. And third, each sentence also has a contextual embedding. The attention weight can be obtained by normalizing the score of a word pair from a MLP through softmax function. We also apply a Decky factor to penalize the output score for reducing the impact of noise information that will be produced when the length of the sentence grows. Next, we concatenate the refined knowledge embedding K with contextual embedding C and to form a two-channel embedding and convolve it with different kernel size to generate Z, which are activity by ReLU function and global max pull along I, but chuck max pull along G. Lastly, we have a second convolution applied to P to further extract and downsize features, and in parallel, we apply LSTM to extract the sequential information. The output V from CNN and X from LSTM, they are concatenated with U from the transformer model, and from there, it is passed to the dense layer. This is the proposed architecture for parallel integration. Lastly, we also have for posterior knowledge integration, which is defined as the addition of knowledge to the output embedding from transformer models. Here, as a baseline, we adopt the most straightforward approach, which is a direct concatenation without further processing. This is the experimental result for the different methods. And the left side, it shows the performance of proposed knowledge-enabled transformer models in comparison to state-of-the-art approaches in sentiment analysis task on FiQA task 1, while the right side is the performance on the SemEval 2017 task 5. We are able to observe that knowledge-enabled robota achieves state-of-the-art result on both datasets. And it is also showing that for knowledge-enabled transformer models has produced better result than vanilla transformer models. Meanwhile, we also visualize attention scores produced by knowledge-enabled transformer models. Here, we show the visualization from K-Robota. Each row of the matrix represents a vector, and a darker green cell indicates that more attention is being paid to the work in the corresponding column. Here we can see the negative sentiment patterns abandon, cut, and divest. They are significant in the respective settings. We have also performed ablation study. The left side is ablation analysis for FiQA task 1, while the right side is ablation analysis for SemEval 2017 task 5. Here we have for mean, median, and also standard deviation. Based on ablation study, we have observed that the integration of external knowledge has improved both accuracy and stability. We have observed a smaller standard deviation in knowledge-enabled transformer models. Here comes to our conclusion. First of all, a framework that strategically combines symbolic and subsymbolic modules for TABFSA is proposed in this research. Secondly, we are pioneering in employing attentive CNN and LSTM to touch multiple knowledge sources and integrating with transformer models in parallel, and have achieved state-of-the-art performance on the SemEval 2017 task 5 and the FiQA task 1 datasets. We have also discovered and demonstrated that parallel integration is a more effective approach than anterior and posterior when multiple sources of lexical knowledge are incorporated. Lastly, the results show that incorporating financial and general lexical knowledge can improve model performance more than retraining finance domain-specific language models in TABFSA tasks. When it comes to future work, we plan to investigate 3 further issues in future work. Number 1, The influence of domain-specific lexicon coverage on their effectiveness. Number 2, the alternative methods for knowledge embedding. And number 3, what affects the effectiveness of different transformer architecture, for example, Robota versus XLNet. That's all for my presentation today. Thank you.